Are they in there?
I think they're here. Are you
I
here?
think they're in here.
Hey, it's WUFO, y'all.
Welcome.
Tonight it's Jeremy and I, and Bex is somewhere.
Yeah, undisclosed.
Undisclosed, and she'll actually pop in. She's actually here, but not here, so we'll have a Bex report soon.
We will, yeah. She's it's one of those if we tell you where she is, we'll have to cut out your tongue or jab needles in your ears or something like that situations. Nothing like that.
So glad to see everyone here.
Yeah.
See Alex and Jenny, Lindsay, Kai, Nilo Moon. It's good to see everyone.
Yep. Snack report. We already own Janet. We have
hi Janet. Snack report on Sarah.
Whoop, whoop. My dogs. Can you hear them? CJ. Here, yeah, they're barking at something. I don't know what. What are you drinking?
Oh, me coffee.
Oh, it's coffee.
Yeah, well, mostly cream with some coffee. It's like soy creamer. It's good.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. We were gonna do like a little bit. You wanted to do a little bit of a show and tell.
I thought it would be fun. So yeah, it's gonna be unusual because we haven't done this like without Bex here.
Yeah.
For a while. So it's kind of it's weird to like not have her here as like our like lead, like as the entertaining one. But yeah, so I don't know if we're gonna do a going under session of any kind tonight. We haven't decided yet. But I might tell the story of why I can't do it. And that could be interesting because I haven't really told that story publicly to anybody other than like you and Bex and my close friends and family. So, but we should do the usuals though. I mean, we have a nice side quest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, which is really cool. Actually, there's something about the side quest I wanted to mention in passing as well. And then we didn't pick a cause this time.
Yeah, I don't know. I was busy today, so
yeah, I think maybe let's just encourage everyone to find a local cause that is helping improve the lives of people in your community, and do something to, if you can, do something to send some funds their way, or I don't know, just let us know though. Go onto Twitter and tag WUFO and share your favorite local cause with us, and we can retweet it, and that way we can get hopefully some more support for a lot of different causes.
Yeah, I saw that Maitland on Twitter, they posted the side quest, and they said that they wanted to start using that weekly thread. If people aren't following Maitland on Twitter, it's weird_astrology, but they want to use that as a place to also do mutual aid promotion. So right. I think that's a great use of that. He's like, hey, here's the side quest, plus here's all this, people that could use your help. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So Eastern Kentucky needs help because of the flooding. That's right. Yeah, Jenny just mentioned that. That's totally true. But if you have a cause that you think would be worth sharing with us, then tag us so that we can at Liminal Earth with #WUFO, so that we can get the word out and try and spread a little goodness around in the world. So yeah, so that's that. So snack report.
I
just was noticing in the comments we have. So Alex has taro chips. CJ has fried squash, which, yeah, that sounds really good.
Heck yeah,
that's totally squash season. Mushroom potato lentil stew with vegan meatballs. Hello. That sounds awesome. Do you have a snack tonight, Garrett?
Just my coffee.
Yeah.
Nothing. No.
We ordered some Hawaiian tonight.
Huh?
I haven't.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So like spam musubi,
Oh, nice.
snack salad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I usually eat after because I'm a late eater.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Yum.
So that's going to be exciting for me. Maureen just had a first vegan burger from Carl's Jr. It was incredibly gross. I'm sorry to hear that. Blueberry crumble fruze balls? What's a fruze ball, Kai?
Yeah, I gotta know what a foosball is.
I know. Is it
Man,
like
people
foosball?
people are going wild on the snacks here. I'm glad everyone has gotten into the snack game.
Yeah, me too. Black
I
garlic hummus and tortilla chips. That sounds good. Black garlic is so good. Have you ever had black garlic?
I don't think I have. Huh.
It's like that sort of uber fermented
Uh-huh.
black garlic. Um, and it's like smoky and sweet.
Hmm.
So I can see how that would be a good snack for sure. So
Man,
Janet says froze balls. Is it froze balls or froze balls?
I'm doubting the existence of this. I feel this is like a
Yeah.
gotten puff territory. I think someone is playing a trick on us.
Weird Australian Powerball type things. Huh.
That doesn't help at all. I
No.
feel like I'm more confused now.
Now I'm gonna have to I mean, like, I know very
Foosballs.
little about Australian food.
Yeah. Ooh.
Trader
Okay.
Joe's has them. Okay. Alright.
Oh.
Wow. We'll have to check that out at some point.
They look I'm actually found pictures of them. They look pretty good.
Yeah. Granola and peanut butter. Huh. Lots of variety in snacks this time around.
Yeah.
Alright, sign me up. So, should we talk about the side quest?
Yeah, you said you had something special to talk about with that. So
Well,
what
I
do you
do. Well, it's not super special. It's just a kind of a cool thing that.
Yeah, go
So I've been getting into. So the side quest tonight is Ophiuchus, which is like the serpent bearer. Is
Mhm.
the big guy with a snake, um, and it's like it was like one of the potential like a 13th zodiacal sign at one time in
Mm.
certain systems. Not anymore obviously, but because like it's I guess partially on the ecliptic, which is the line the zodiac is
Mhm.
on. And gosh, man, I'd love to have Maitland on here someday, just
I know we need them
blow our
more.
minds with but they're in Florida and so it's tricky, so we totally get that. Um but Ophiuchus is the constellation that represents Asclepius.
All right. Okay.
And Asclepius is like, a Greek, the Greek god of healing. And I've totally been into lately since like we had COVID in the house. I really started reading up on it and, really getting into this figure of Ophiuchus. Um, and I guess according to the legend, it goes that so here, this is I brought my,
Okay,
you can kind of see with like the serpent
mhm.
right there on the statue. And then, he's traditionally pictured with a staff, but in a lot of the myths, that staff is actually a tree that's growing
Okay.
in the ground. It's like a live plant. Because I guess medicine is this, healing and, respect for plants and stuff. But I guess the story is that like he got so good at healing because it's Greek mythology and, it's always like vengeful jerks and
Right.
but he got so good at healing, that he started being able to, like, bring, people, like, back from the dead,
Mm.
and that bothered Zeus so much that he, like, sent down a lightning bolt, and, just killed Asclepius and stuck him in the sky as Ophiuchus.
Oh, okay.
So that was, like, the story behind that,
So a
constellation.
fiacus is the same as I can't these names.
Asclepius, yeah.
So it's the same person, but uh, why is it a different name when it's in the sky? Is it just
I don't know yet. I don't know,
Oh,
but I know
huh.
that for sure. I like the myth definitely says like I've read the original myths and there's some fucked up stuff in Greek mythology.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
he was born because like Apollo um had got, like as the Greek gods did, like Apollo went down and got a mortal woman pregnant. And then she cheated on him and so Apollo like tossed her into a fire,
Hmm.
but then like started to regret it instantly, so he saved the baby Asclepius, and then took him to learn healing from a centaur.
Okay.
And then he learned all his healing from a centaur. It's the centaur who also, I think, like hung out with Hercules
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah, but the cult of Asclepius was like more popular than like lots of the other cults at the time. It's also connected to the Eleusinian mysteries,
Mm-hmm.
like Demeter and Persephone.
Yeah.
Um, Anyhow, that was just like it was kind of a fun sync for me that Ophiuchus was the constellation we're looking at. Uh, and
It's
of course,
interesting
like
too. There's like thunderstorms today here,
that's right, yeah,
and where Bex is, and you're
that's
talking about
right,
this like lightning bolt that struck down. There's like this lightning sink.
yeah,
Um, anyway, that's interesting, huh?
yeah. So I just thought that was like some fascinating stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
A lot's also associated with dreams because the main way that the main healing practice that the priests of Asclepius would do would be to like you would go in and you'd have like a ritual bath and then you'd go into the temple and you'd go to sleep and like something would happen, either the god would appear to you or you would have a dream that like told you how to heal yourself. And like often it was things like climb Mount Parnassus and sacrifice a goat or something like
Right, right, right.
that. But it was cool because that you could also have like people dream on your behalf. So like if you were too sick to get to the
Oh,
temple, like I could go and have the dream for you.
that's cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I kind of want that job. That sounds pretty awesome.
I know, right? Yeah. But so that's why I've been getting into all the dream interpretation stuff, and maybe I can start the show and tell. I got my dream herbs, so I'm gonna try. I ordered these, and I'm gonna try doing some dreaming like experiments.
Oh yeah.
Like taking each of these. So this first one, I'm really excited about. This is Blue Lotus, like the lotus eaters from the Odyssey.
Is that the same?
The same
Famous?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
So it grows in the Mediterranean, and it's supposedly, if you have enough of it, it can have psychotropic effects. But it calms you and induces like all kinds of dreams, apparently.
that's
And so I'm very
interesting.
excited about that. You make a tea out of it.
Because I'm wondering why that was used in the story. Because in the story, is like, don't they kind of get like obsessed with it and like
Yeah,
starting to
the kind of like opium. Like I always felt
right,
like there was kind of like they were so
right.
like stoned by it that they just because they were trying to get home, and all the sailors wanted to just stay there and eat Blue Lotus instead
But
of
like, but
going home.
that's I always thought of like you said, like it's like opium or something like something like that. But does it have those effects, or is it that they are so addicted to this dream world? That's what I'm
I
wondering. Is
Yeah,
like,
no,
is it
that's a
really like a like the idea when I first at first glance is that it was some kind of physical addiction, but maybe there's some other meaning there that it's like lost in translation or something.
Yeah, maybe the Lotus Eaters were actually all, like, living in a shared dream,
Yeah.
and so they the sailors got sucked
Mhm.
into this shared dream that the Lotus Eaters were sharing together. Um,
Right.
that would be cool. We should try man, yeah. Maybe you guys should order some Blue Lotus and we can all try it.
I love this idea. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously like dreams are such an important part of all of the and before we did the liminal earth map, you and I and Tim, our friend Tim, had this like database where we just catalog all our dreams for like
mhm.
years.
Yeah,
And we would know each other's dreams, like, oh, remember that dream you had, like,
right.
so like I just think they're so fascinating, and a lot of my only personal experiences have to do with like dream world interacting with the waking world. So
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah, let's do it. Blue Lotus. Okay, that sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
okay. Yeah, well, I'll put that we'll do that on the Discord. I'll put in, where I ordered it, and I mean, I'm sure there's other it's not like a controlled substance or anything. It's just like
Yeah.
a tea. So we should totally do that. And then, I'm gonna try soon and keep a dream journal and see, what
Beck
happens. And
Beck said that she put Blue Lotus in the dream sachets that she sent out in the liminal boxes for our
oh,
patrons.
cool.
I didn't
Oh,
realize she
awesome.
did that, but she
I didn't
mentioned,
either.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Lindsay says, me and a few friends tried this experiment a year ago with some interesting results. What?
Which experiment? The Blue Lotus? Is that what,
I
or
think
just like,
so.
or kind of looking dreams?
Yes, Lotus Eater is totally a t-shirt. I want a
Yeah.
t-shirt that says Lotus Eaters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Well, but check this out. So that's not all I got.
Cool.
This company, like, they specialize. This place that I got it from, they're on Etsy, and they do like dream products. So
Mhm.
I got a couple of other ones, and I want to be respectful here because I don't want to like appropriate um herbs and plants that are used by specific cultures. I want to do it respectfully. So I am going to do, try and be as respectful as I can about it. But these are really cool. They're called dream beans, and it's in Tata reedii. I don't know. Anyhow, it's this giant
Wow.
like bean. It's a, and it's hard. It's like a tiny coconut.
What?
Um, and you don't eat the whole thing. You crack it open. There's like stuff inside that you would eat like a tiny bit of to enhance your dreams. But it's used in some African cultures, North Africa. Um, and what's really interesting is it's a seed, and apparently it gets this shell because it is adapted to spread itself by floating in water.
Oh, cool. It's like
And
a
so
little
this
boat
guy,
that like
yeah, so these
that's
guys are little
amazing.
boats.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then you crack them open, and supposedly you'll have like enhanced like dream enhancement. And so that's another one. I got a pretty decent sized bag of them.
That's so cool.
And it's called, like, I think if you just Google like dream bean, you can find it. Um, the scientific name is Entada reedi, ENTADA RHEEDI. I don't know. I'll post it all like in the Discord and on Twitter and stuff. So, like in the show notes, which we don't have to actually have. So, Dream Beans and Blue Lotus, but I'm really especially excited about the Blue Lotus. So we should totally do that experiment.
Yeah, I like this idea of like having a Lotus Eaters club or whatever of dreamers and
Heck
like,
yeah!
let's do it. Let's go. I'm into it.
Only one of my friends was able to find the rest of us, but we were all unconscious within the dream, and we found out the next day that none of us remember what happened, save for the one friend. That's really cool.
Wow.
John says Lotus Eater should meet in the dream park.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was my initial show and tell thing. Did you have anything you wanted to? Maybe we should take turns.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Well, I was just gonna tell. I went to Whidbey Island this weekend. I don't know if this is too
Yeah.
far off, but
Yeah.
so my wife was teaching a class to some kids at the library there. So I was like, okay, I'll go find something weird to do on Whidbey Island. So I went with my son. I just Googled like weird places on Whidbey Island. I found that someone, this article from 2004 that said that there's a haunted mailbox on this one road. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I gotta go find that. So I drove like an hour. I didn't realize Whidbey's so huge. Whidbey's a pretty long island
Yeah.
here in the Puget Sound. So it took me like an hour to get there. And I found this old school there. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have any paranormal tools. So I went to a thrift store first called Secondhand Booty. That was the name of the place. And I'll show
Nice.
these things first. I got these. This is only tangentially related, but these are like these comics I found that were from like the 90s, and they just had this really 90s art I thought was cool.
The fish priests.
Look at this one though. This one is like it's like the Devastator, and it has a sword into a brain. Look at that face he's making. I just love this. I love it. So yeah, and just like this kind of like weird art. I don't know. I got a bunch of I think I showed that one already. But yeah, like this is very X-Files or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what can I use? What can I use to like help me investigate? I got ended up getting these bowling dice, and I used this in my investigation to do the liminal spirit oracle there at the site. And I got all these books too. This is relevant. Whale Tales, Human Interactions with Whales.
Yay.
And of course the Klingon Dictionary.
Of course.
Secret Power of Pyramids.
Nice.
But I basically went there with just like this dice, and I did like a little liminal spirit reading. And the place that it was is this old school that was built in like the late 1800s, and it was overlooking this lagoon. And the story is that this haunted mailbox, supposedly, if the people who were living there said that if they didn't watch the mailman put the mail in, they would, if they didn't keep an eye on it when he was coming, that they would look outside and all their mail would be down the street. Like someone has like been pulling it out and throwing it down the street, and it happened over and over and over again. So the kind of lore is that there's a woman who's waiting for her husband to come back from a ship, and she's checking the mail or something. This is like the story. So I went there, and apparently it found out that like it was I think they filmed some scene from War of the Roses there with and Danny DeVito had like a paranormal experience in this place. This was like I posted this on Whidbey Island Facebook group. I got into the group and I asked, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Danny DeVito had a paranormal experience when he was here at that place." I'm like, "What?" So I tried to contact Danny DeVito. I asked him like, "So what can you tell me about the haunted mailbox?" He hasn't replied yet. But it was a cool time. And what's weird is I did the liminal spirit oracle with this stuff, and right outside of the gate, there's these fir trees, and the sigil I got was conifer leaves, right? So like it was the fir trees. So like something, and when I was there before I even did that, there's these insects really high up in the tree that were making that really like summery like electric sound, like that really
Yeah.
high pitched. And I was like, what are they trying to tell me? And then that's what when I threw the dice and I did the whole sigil thing, it was pointing to these trees. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with the trees. I did take some of these from the tree.
Yay. Do
So
you know
I
the
thought
story about those?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Maybe you could talk about. I took some Nootka roses.
Oh yeah.
But maybe you could talk about that. The fir.
Well,
kind.
just can you get one of those little cones out and hold it up? This is kind of just a cool little factoid. So you can see if you look at these cones, this is a Douglas fir. Like those are the big tall ones, that like Agent Cooper talks about in the opening of Twin Peaks and all that. The little pointy things that point down.
Okay.
So there's a legend that there was a forest fire, like this is actually, I'm not sure which indigenous community this legend comes from, but it is a Northwest, like Salish language spoken tradition. And the story is like, there was a giant forest fire, and like all the animals were able to get out except the mouse. And the mouse didn't know what to do. And the Doug fir said, run up here and you can hide in my cones. And those little like three-pronged little guys there are, depending on which story you're listening to, either the mouse's like little paw sticking out or like his back legs and tail.
A little tail. Oh my god, that's amazing.
And to get away from the fire.
And it's like tucked under there and hiding.
It's tucked under there. And so
mice butts. Mice butts. That's what the guy says.
It is totally mice butts.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I love it.
I love that because not only is it a cool like a just so story kind of thing, like that kind of folk tale where how the raven
Right.
uh why the raven turns black. There's an Asclepius connection there too that I missed, which is this is a tangent, of course, which is that the raven used to be white, but the raven is the one who told Apollo that his wife was cheating on
Hmm.
him, and so he like Apollo cursed the raven and turned him black.
Oh, okay.
But anyhow, I like that legend because it's like now you will never forget how to identify a Douglas fir.
Right. You can just use that.
Every single time you'll
Like
know.
it's like a mnemonic to remember it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's kind of like the Queen Anne's lace thing, where like the queen has hairy legs, they say, and
Yeah.
the red dot, and so it's easy to kind of remember that because of this little story that goes with it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Um, I was gonna say that another thing I saw this property that this mailbox is on, and I posted on the Whitby thing. There was a lot of discrepancies about whether this is the haunted mailbox, the one that I found, or if it's like an undisclosed one because they don't want people bothering it. So I'm not quite sure if I actually found it, but this house itself, lots of people said that they had rented it or knew someone who did, and there's lots of stories around it. It's been there for 100 years, and the land itself was apparently it's like this weird prairie land. It's a very strange piece of property, and that there's kind of a rare endangered plant that lives on that grows there. So that's something I wanted to research more. And it was originally maintained by the indigenous folks as a prairie for some purpose, according to these articles in the newspaper. So like there's something I just want to know more about that land and like why it's changed hands into different ways, and like why was it being treated that way as like a special prairie. So I'm just curious. It just seems like there's something interesting happening there, and there's lots,
Definitely.
I just think that's interesting that like has lots of different, maybe conflicting stories, but some kind of activity or interest, or I don't know what that is, but I think that makes me want to dive in deeper. So
Yeah, absolutely.
um yeah, and so I just want to, I guess it's just like it's just so fun to be like, I'm going to this new place. Like, let's dig into whatever weird thing is there. I just think that people should do that and like just like
Yeah.
find any small place. I'm sure there's something going on.
Yeah.
I think we have a surprise guest. Should we bring them in?
Yeah, totally. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Can we sing the song? Do you know the song?
Is there a song?
The Where in the
Oh, I
World?
don't know it. You could sing it though.
Where in the world is Beck San Diego?
Me. You guys. That looks
Here we
really
go.
cool. Cat
I
Howdy.
mean, I listened to
What's
that song. I listened to. Do you remember the TV show or whatever that was on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. That theme song. I listened to it a bunch today.
It was a video. It was video games first. It was like
Yeah, I remember the video game.
God,
Yeah,
these video
PC
games on like
game.
Apple IIe.
yeah.
Yeah,
So good.
that game was so fun.
Yeah, I know. We got a Bex. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I got the old travel pal with me.
Oh,
Look at
you
this guy.
sweet boy.
I can't like figure out how to. Okay. There we
Oh,
go.
you told the weepy.
Willow is under my seat. And she is a surprisingly good like road trip cat. This
Wow,
is
That's
very
good.
distinct to find out. I'm so excited.
that's cute.
Yeah, so it's just been great. We've just been bebopping around, going to some cool locations, and yeah, I spent the day in this state, and I had been to this state before, but it was more like passing through. So I was really excited to have the opportunity to kind of go and check it out. And I spent a whole day in this area. And I started by looking at like the New Fork website that I often use for my night drift reports. So it's just like a UFO sightings database. And what do you know it? The state that I'm in has one of the lowest numbers of UFO reports yearly. So you
Really?
go from Washington, which is like the highest,
Yeah.
to the state I'm in now, and it's one of the lowest. So I thought it was so funny. I read this article, and the local like reporter was like, you know, is it COVID? Did they all get COVID and go away? And I couldn't help but think of like a really funny headline, and it was it something I said? Was it something we did? So I was
Is it our
cracking up.
fault?
Exactly, probably. But it's so wild because like one of the parks out here is like such a place that you would assume UFOs would just be around all the time. So it was cool to be in a place like that and to film some stuff for LE. What else did I do? Okay, so I went to this like haunted town.
Haunted
And
town? That's the whole
Town?
town?
yeah, the whole town. So there's like this big campus because there's like this old school, and it's one of those like normal schools, the real creepy schools. And this was on a, I cannot reveal that. I'm gonna give myself away. Anyways, it's like a big campus of all these buildings, and then the town. Ooh, lightning. The town has all these abandoned buildings, and there's like a couple residents still, not many. So I was going around photographing all the buildings, and I read on the website that the campus with the school, like, you can't go into the buildings because it's very dangerous. But you can like go around the campus and take pictures. And so I'm pulling up, and there's like a party going on, and people are like, and so I'm like, you know how far I drove? But so I turn around and I'm sassy, but I did what they said. I did it with a frown on my face, though. You know that. But then I go to like the merch store across the street, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up over there?" The lady calls the person who owns it and is like, "Hey," I show her like our TikTok page, and I'm like, "Hey, let's go, let's do this. I got a dog. Let's investigate." What I found out was this lady has been burned by the most famous ghost hunters called ghost hunters. They did an episode at the school. They fucking vandalized there. They
What?
spray painted something to try to say that, oh, it's this demonic thing. She was like, no, they just straight up vandalized. And they like were awful. So she's like, I don't care how many followers you have. Like, I was burned by someone with millions, so I don't care.
Wow.
So no, I was like, man, that's rough. But that's the second time I've heard something like that. Do you remember when we did Starvation Heights and what Cannon's story was with another ghost show? He's like, they like completely misconstrued everything. They were faking stuff, and like they tried to like say that his brother was mentally ill or something. And it
Right,
wasn't
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like my ass is a little chapped about all the ghost bros out there and all the fucking paranormal shows that just like ruin people's lives and their like cool ventures. Like, this lady is so guarded now, and you know, we have the best of intentions. I just wanted to take pictures and like promote her events, you know, like they do a lot of stuff there, and she's so burnt. She's like, nah. So
Yeah.
that just made me really upset. Like,
True.
screw those guys.
Yeah.
Screw all of them. Sorry, but
No, that's
it's how I feel. And I
Well,
keep in
that's
my
why
room.
we're so cool. Let's turn this back around. Instead of talking about how crummy other people are, and talk about how excellent we are. Let's face it.
People love talking about how awesome they are. I speaking of awesome, truck stops are like the coolest places on earth. Sometimes, and then they're also really scary sometimes. But I got the coolest little WUFO socks.
Whoa.
Whoa. At a truck stop?
At a truck stop. I had to do
You
the
know-
Bob's Burgers place.
Was it maybe it was an interdimensional truck stop?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe.
I mean, why?
They had,
Like, yeah. Why else would they
they had
have
Bigfoot socks and stuff too.
socks with
It was
UFOs on?
I don't know. Where I'm at too is like not a notorious UFO spot, so it's even funnier.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
you'll
what
see
I'm up to.
something tonight. Maybe you'll put it on the map.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, I'm trying to add I'm gonna add a little write up to the map of this haunted town. Like the next couple states I'm gonna be in are like almost, I can't say that either. Okay. They need more submissions. So I'm gonna be doing that. But I realized that I didn't take like a single liminal Earth sticker. I didn't take any flyers, nothing. Like I could have had this opportunity to go to these like bare areas and be like, boom, boom, boom. Here's the map. I know you got some weird stuff. You're just not telling anybody.
You should ask those
I
people in the
saved
gas
it.
stations, though. I think you should just
For sure.
be that weirdo, Bex.
You know how chummy I am with
I know.
customer service people.
Maybe
Man,
you could find the truck stop where Large Marge was
Yeah.
in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Man,
You know?
that was one of my most terrifying childhood memories, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, Alex has a good
hilarious.
idea. Just leave some peeled oranges everywhere you go.
Yeah, spread a little
For sure.
mystery.
Back.
That's gonna like skew our peeled orange metrics. People are gonna start false reporting.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, didn't we get another mysterious produce submission?
Yeah, I think there was like a new. Jeremy would know the details. I think there's like a new lemon, a bunch of lemons found in a place that
Oh yeah,
didn't belong, I believe.
lemons now, y'all. Still
yeah.
citrus though. For those of you who are just joining us, we've been chasing almost a year-long, to us, mystery, to locals, years and years and years long, of this mysterious pile of oranges that keeps appearing at this like city park trailhead, and it's just wild. It's wild, and like the weird thing about them is that they're always peeled. Jeremy, we were interested in hearing the latest mysterious produce story.
Oh,
Heard
yeah.
about lemons? Do you know?
Yeah, was it?
Let me look it up.
Okay.
You know what?
Perfect. Good night, Janet.
Night, Janet. We have a couple of new people here. I was wondering, we should probably talk a little bit more about. This is actually a little different than our usual WUFO session. So
these shadows are wild, y'all.
Yeah, they're really cool. So I'm gonna look this up, but do you guys want to talk more about like what we usually do?
Yeah, either one of us.
Usually Bex goes into some trance and talks to beings from other worlds.
I get art project ideas.
Yeah.
now. Yeah, like every Wednesday night since January. This is week 30. Every Wednesday since January, we started collectively, remotely connecting together with these live contact sessions. We try weird experiments that you would see in more like traditional like ghost hunting approaches, and then we have Garrett's amazing florophone plant speaking device. So we're kind of unhinged in all the right ways. And it all started from like one tweet. Our friend Madeline, who we mention every week because they are an integral part of WUFO and they do our side quests. They just made a simple tweet about John Keel. They were rereading the Mothman Prophecies, which all of us collectively could not recommend enough if you're just getting into this. And there was discussion about the average person being most likely to see a UFO statistically on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. So we just kind of took that and ran with it. And here we are on week 30.
This is like
August.
the pre-funk we do every Wednesday before everyone goes. We go outside at 10 p.m. But it's your time, so 10 p.m. your time. Go outside if you can, or try other ways to engage with the phenomena.
Yep, and we call this an aerial contact session because we always say we would be just as happy to communicate with UFO knots as we would be with like a bird or insects or the layer of microorganisms that lives in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the new
one.
So, but right now, this week, Bex is on her way to Area 51. Wink, wink, wink.
I'm storming it myself.
So we're doing low-key right now. We're just chatting, telling stories, having some show and tell before we all head out at 10 o'clock to look for stuff. So if you're joining us for the first time, thanks for coming, and hopefully this will be a regular for you now. I found the story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's hear.
So this is actually recent. This happened on July 21st of this year. And it was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There's a pile of 9 lemons along a walking trail. Nothing nearby that would give reason for a pile of lemons to be in this spot. They weren't drying out or old looking and soft to the touch. And that's the whole encounter.
Yeah.
With their peels. They got peels.
Yeah. But they weren't like dry, so they were probably left there pretty recently.
And about how did they state how many? I might have missed that part.
9.
9. Okay. 9. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. 9 of what is it? Is there a tarot 9 of lemons? Oh my goodness, we need to do a fruit of like a mysterious produce tarot.
Oh yeah.
Do we have enough produce mysteries?
Well, this would encourage them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Also, I wanted to quickly comment 2 things that are unrelated to this conversation, but have like totally tied into the start of WUFO. Ridiculous, but I also have Danny DeVito sinks this week. So
what's going on?
what's up with
Okay, we got to
that?
know that what's going on with Danny DeVito. Someone else did
I know
in the
Kai
comments.
and CJ also said that, and I was like, y'all, I can't comment because it just says liminal Earth, but like, I have Danny DeVito sinks too. I've been like talking about him all week, and then the number 222 keeps coming up for me, and it was my hotel room last night. It was the exit that I took to get to the gas station, and it was the time earlier. 222.
222.
222.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot
2
about
plus
numerology
2 plus
and things
2.
like that, but
So it happened 3 times, you say? So that's 666.
oh sweet.
Where exactly are you going back?
I can't share that information. I'm going
I just was wondering if you were
battle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
to
battle
hell.
the devil in a game of fiddles. I'm gonna go down to Georgia.
No.
What was your Danny DeVito? Can you share your Danny DeVito?
Oh,
thing?
it was just like I was just having discussions with Danny DeVito with like multiple friends this week. Like we were just talking about. One was Always Sunny, just memes and things, and then one was like, so like a new article about him recently that I read. It was funny, but I don't have any details for you. But it was just like he's come up multiple times, and in those 2 instances, I was like, ha, he came up twice this week. That's cool. But this is interesting.
Yeah, no.
I
So
didn't read that part of our text about Danny. I remember you mentioning it, but I didn't read it like fully, and so I didn't realize that he had a paranormal experience where you were. That's wild.
I know. I'm curious. It feels like I need to try harder to get the Danny DeVito dirt and see if maybe I could talk to his agent. But if CJ and Kai, if you want to share your Danny DeVito sinks in the chat, I would love to hear what you.
Yeah.
It sounds like though, like I got to know more from Danny.
I think CJ was just said because so Danny DeVito was the voice of the fawn character in Hercules, the Hercules movie.
Yes.
And we were talking.
Hercules had to be like a hero, right? And I think that's one of the things that came in because we were talking about the Asclepius myth, where Asclepius was given to a centaur.
Wow.
So it's kind of like the character in the Hercules movie is like a fawn instead of a centaur, but that's like Pan almost.
Right.
And then there is a centaur in the Hercules movie, but I think he beats it up. I don't know.
I remember Danny DeVito's character there was like real horny too, so it kind of fits in with the Pan thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I gotta say though, on a list of like top 10 celebrities who I would love to go on a liminal adventure with, Danny DeVito would probably be on that list.
Oh, 100%. Like, would it be so cool to bring him back there and like try to recreate the experience or something? And I just want to know what it was, or if this is like just like weird lore that people on Whidbey Island are talking about.
Yeah,
it's like their one. Yeah, that's where they filmed my favorite witch movie ever. I forgot that you
really
there. Practical Magic.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that. What is that?
It has Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman.
Oh, really? I love Nicole
so
Kidman.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean she's young and has red hair here. fantastic. But like,
Well, in science, she loves Scientology, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, one time in college, I I don't know if I should tell the story. I got really high. I got really high. I went to the movie theater and I saw Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I just remember it's like, and I thought Nicole Kidman was God. And she was trying to communicate through this movie. God was trying to communicate through Nicole Kidman through that movie. And I was like, I was just like having like a freak out. Totally. Like I couldn't like get out of my chair.
What it does. I have one question for you guys with this lighting. It made me think of a music video. I'm gonna just sing one little bar and you're gonna know exactly what it is. Okay. Is this the real?
Totally.
That is totally.
I just looked at myself and I was like, oh.
That is hilarious.
Music video, y'all.
That's funny.
Anyways.
So did Nicole Kidman, she's out of Scientology, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think totally.
I have
her divorce photos are so funny.
I got this out since it's on the subject. For my show and tell tonight, this is one of our liminal objects. This is actually a part of a Scientology e-meter.
Whoa.
Interesting.
So it's actually
how did you get that? How did you get just that piece?
I just they were selling it. So we have this local store called Archie McPhee, which is a fantastic. They're the ones who are responsible for the yodeling pickle and the
giant pair of underwear.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. And
amazing.
Archie McPhee, if you they're a fantastic local store, and the actual store is the only one in the world, and it's here in Seattle, and it's just a delight because they have a rubber chicken museum.
Yeah.
They have all of those weird products, but they also just sell stuff. They have bins full of magnets or old chemistry equipment, or they had acupuncture training models for a while. Yeah. And I went in there one day and they had a bin of these actual I don't know how they sourced them, but they it was actually part of an e-meter.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
that's the thing that you hold it. Is that why you hold it? And
yeah, I think there'd be wires attached to it. And then they used to use I went through a big anti-Scientology phase in the 2000s. They used to use just those small cans of tomato juice that you get on the airplane. Those little tiny, or grape juice or whatever, and they'd hook wires up to them to this meter, and then they would ask you, they would say things to you, and your response they would measure to determine, I don't know, how many interstellar parasites you had living in your body or something like that. I don't know.
Wow.
Man, that's wild.
Yeah, check your thetan levels. So anyhow, another liminal object show and tell.
Yeah, we should. I wonder if we could repurpose that somehow.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's very simple. It's just got, Yeah. I think the needle needs to be recalibrated, probably. But
that's cool.
Maybe we can make a mask out of it.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go as an e-meter for Halloween.
Why not? Yeah, you just you have these little things for people. Perfect. You just stick out your thumbs and you're that's the thing that you're supposed to hold. Anyways. Oh, show and tell. I got fancy chocolate.
Ooh, Hammond.
I got
s'mores.
More s'mores. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can I want to take one piece for the next couple of days and savor it, because I've only seen those chocolate bars at Cost Plus World Market, and that's I've only seen those in Washington. I know that they're in other places, but trying not to disclose my location is so hard. There's just reasons.
Well, you don't want Martin to know you're coming, so
that's right.
I want to surprise Martin. People inside baseball, Martin is an entity who would come through the Estes when we first started doing our live sessions for WUFO. So that was pretty cool.
We haven't heard from him recently, or them.
No.
I know. Yeah, maybe it was just a couple time thing, or who knows. But now we always mention Martin when we
Yeah.
talk contact.
I always wonder if it's like a seasonality thing, like, and like there's some sort of like certain entities only come through when basically when the stars are aligned, right?
Right.
Like maybe
Yeah.
Martin only comes during like Leo season or something like that.
Maybe.
I remember. I think in the Mothman prophecies, which I haven't read in a long time, but I feel like John Keel was talking about this similar idea about like flaps, UFO flaps, and how like maybe it has to do with the Earth, kind of physically coming through a space every periodically, and like we're kind of getting washed in something that is making this flap happen, or something about like physical space at a certain time of year. I think that was just like a question he was posing, because he was trying to think of like this like rhythmic or a cyclical aspect to some of this phenomena. I don't know. It's just interesting. Be cool to have that information and that data. I remember you were talking too about like cicadas, potentially like life cycle of these entities.
Like what if like UFO flaps, we're actually watching, these entities sort of emerging from like, going from like the larval state into the next state or whatever. And then, I still think it could be all of these things. Like, why do UFOs need to be one specific thing? But I just think, like, why not? Like, why isn't it just something that's been hibernating for a while, and every 7 years they come out and do their thing, and or however many years flaps tend to be.
Right. Well,
I think it's 11 actually.
There's a whole thing too. Sorry, I bring this to ham radio, but there's a whole thing about how like you can talk around the world with. I don't know that much about it because you have to have a higher license class than I have, but you can talk around the world by using certain frequencies, by bouncing signals off of the ionosphere, like in the sky. So you bounce the signal and it kind of bounces around the planet that way. But it's cyclical. So there's times every 10 years or so, it kind of fades out in ability, and then it comes back. So it has this kind of like wave, and so there's a period of time when right when we got our license, everyone was like really bummed out. It was like, this is like the lowest it will be. We have to wait another 10 years until we can start really easily talking around the world again, which is kind of cool that it's like, it's like fading in and out of ability to communicate. So maybe there's something similar to that. Like they're like using subspace at a certain period of time to like transmit or like be visible to us at only times of the year, or I don't know. Maybe there's something about that. Yeah.
Well, it's also, I mean, in the grimoire tradition of summoning spirits and communicating with spirits, depending on what you're talking to, it's most effective at certain day at a certain time. And there are some like ritual magician people up to this day who are like, I only do things based on this like almanac of like when it's going to work best. And I think the idea is that like you can still get it to work, but like your chances are just like perfectly lined up to communicate with this being right now, because something's dialed in at that time, like the hour of Mars on the day of Venus and that kind of thing. Oh my goodness, what a sweetie.
He's in a dream right now.
Yeah. Is he part of the Lotus Eaters Club that we're starting?
Did you hear that, Bex? Did you hear about that? Were you listening?
Yeah, because I messaged you guys in private and I was like, it's funny that you mentioned the Blue Lotus because I just put those in the couple months ago, and I did the last round of liminal boxes. I had a bunch of Blue Lotus, and I made like dream sachets for people to put under their pillows for some wild dreams. So I used the mugwort that Garrett grew, and it was awesome.
That is awesome.
Someone was saying, CJ was talking about an alien Rumspringa. Which is like the idea of like Amish folks, certain age, kind of go off and leave the community for a little. I don't know that much about it, but I think there's like a TV show about it, like a reality television. But like there's only a period of time when like Martin was here to visit us on Earth, and now he's back with his people.
Just wanted to know what kind of snacks we have here.
Right, totally. He was very snacky. I remember
Yeah.
that.
He heard our call, and that was cool. But he's like,
Right.
"Can't stay, y'all. Come on."
So, Bex, are you going to be doing anything special out there tonight for WUFO? Do you have any plans? Or you? No.
I'm driving.
Oh, you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
try
drive.
to drive through the night. And so yeah, I'm actually probably gonna hop off a little before it hits 10 because I'm on a different time zone than you guys now, and so it is a little later for me, and it is WUFO for me right now, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it's 2 different thunderstorms are happening, so I'm gonna
Oh
drive.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm just like all caffeined up, so I'm like ready to drive. But I wanted to come on, give my report, tell y'all some things that I'm doing. But just know that I'm filming along the way. I'm getting really great stuff. A lot of B-roll, of course. It's my fave. But I'm also doing some talking head stuff, like whatever. But tomorrow I'm extra excited because there are a few actual liminal Earth submitted places I'm gonna go. So that'll be extra exciting. And I will share we'll share the videos in a couple of weeks. I just don't want to share it while I'm at the location for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of
No
reasons.
worries.
So, but yeah, with that being said, I'll probably go ahead and hop off here.
Okay.
But I don't have anything to do like a live contact attempt anyways. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop
No
off,
worries.
but I'll be listening.
Yeah.
We're just glad to see you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you guys always. And like right before I hopped on, I was like getting all sappy and shit because I just love all of y'all so much. And it's so cool to like be wearing my WUFO shirt, going to all these weird places and to be able to share what we do and to see people's reactions and to see their feedback. It's just like, man, I just want to keep doing this forever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, love all of you, and I'll see you next week.
You
Yeah.
too. See ya. Bye. Bye, Ranger and Willow.
All right.
That was fun.
Yeah. Now what?
You have more. I have plenty of stuff to show and tell.
Yeah, do you want to do more show and
stories,
tell?
Or yeah, we could do more. Well, what is?
Oh wait, you have that story. You have your story about why you can't do the contact session.
Yeah, why I can't go under. Should I share that now?
I think that's a
Or
good.
I wanted to ask, like, what do people want to? Should we do more show and tell, or should we do the story of why I can't do a contact session? I'm just asking everybody in the. Oh, so Kai says, "Tell us." Story. Beck says story in the private chat. Okay, so
Are you nervous to tell the story? Are you?
I'm no. I'm not, I never. I'm like not a nervous dude. But I do need to go grab something.
Okay.
So you do a little dance or something.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I feel like there's a scene in Wayne's World where Garth gets left because I think Wayne gets fired and he's just sitting there going like, I feel like that right now. Oh boy. Oh god. Let's see. I don't have anything to share. Oh, I guess I'm working on the Florophone. If people don't know, I made this thing, and we're gonna have Alex, who's maybe in the chat here. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Not that's the Garth quote. Alex and I both have made this thing called a Florophone. So basically, it just uses one of those plant wave type things to take signals from the plant and turn them into MIDI, which then we mapped it to this other device to make it talk. So I have my plant over here, Coco, that can actually talk. So I've been working on building that out to make it mobile. So yeah, I got this thing. I got this. It's been taking me forever to work on it because I have to hold all the parts together. So I got this thing to actually like has all these octopus arms, so I can actually solder it easily. But I'm gonna go to next week. I'm going to Astoria, Washington, which is where they filmed the Goonies.
Yeah.
And Kindergarten Cop.
Oregon. Astoria, Oregon.
Or sorry, Astoria,
Yeah.
Oregon. And that's where they formed the Goonies and Kindergarten Cop. And I'm hoping to have this mobile so I can go do some stuff with the Floraphone there. And I don't know if we have any spots in Astoria
I don't
on
either.
the map.
Astoria is a wonderful town. Like, I love Astoria.
Yeah.
It's such a cool town. Do you ever go to the top of that pillar?
No,
Right?
no.
Column? Like, have you been there?
I've
Or
been there before. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. There's a column, and it's like, I mean, it's something to do with Lewis and Clark. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's at the top of this hill, and if you go up it, like, you can see the entire Columbia, like, Delta.
Oh, wow.
If the
Okay.
weather's good, like, oh, it's worth it. It's like $5 or something, and if you're there, like, don't
Okay.
miss it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there are supposed to be tunnels under Astoria.
Ooh.
I've heard that legend as well.
Yeah, I should do some research about like where I should go check out when I'm there.
Yeah.
But hoping to have a mobile Floraphone when I'm there.
So I found the thing I was looking for.
Yeah, let's see what do you got?
I've got a hagstone.
Ooh. You have a whole bunch of them. You're actually
I
like
do.
really good at finding them.
I have a tie to them, and I think it's related to this. That's
okay,
why.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think there might be something to that. So the story is, I was so I grew up, as our patrons know, and regular viewers probably too. I grew up in St. Augustine, Florida, which is the town in Florida with the famous lighthouse that everybody goes to visit. And it was a really interesting place to grow up. Really weird town, and probably contributed a lot to me becoming who I am now. And I had weird friends and stuff too. So my childhood had a lot of mystery and whimsy, and so I was always into that. So anyhow, there was a particular beach there. There's a particular beach there, and I don't think I'm going to say the name of the beach, because I don't want those strange escapes people going there. No. There's this particular beach there, and a friend of mine had a house on the beach when I was in high school. It was like senior year, maybe a little bit. It might have been the summer between senior year and like my first year in college, because I went to college there too. But this beach, you could go. It was not one of the touristy beaches. It was kind of the beach, the kind of beach that only like the locals knew about, really. And if you went out at night at certain times of the year, like when it was really warm in the summer, you could go out and go swimming in the water, and it would be full of like phosphorescent, bioluminescent microorganisms, like plankton, I guess they are, or something like that. And if anybody's ever been swimming at night in bioluminescence, absolutely incredible experience, because
Yep.
you wave your hand through the water, and it's just this trail of light that follows you.
It's amazing.
So
When Amber
around,
and I got married on Guimas Island, and that night when we were at the beach, it was all over the beach. The first time I ever saw it, and I was just like blown away. It's such a weird it doesn't feel real. It's so strange.
wow.
Yeah. It's a cool thing if you ever get the chance to do it.
Yeah, it seems like you have to be kind of know, like, it didn't happen every night. Like, you have to
Mhm.
kind of be lucky for it to happen. But yeah, just one of the most amazing experiences you can have. And we would go out there, and like, my friend lived there, and we were in college, and so I would be over there like almost every night during the summer, just crashing on the beach and staying up until 3 a.m. sitting out there on the dunes. And this was also around the time when I was starting to get into like folk magic practices stuff. Like, so we would do things like whistle up the wind. Like, do you know that trick?
I think you've told me about this, but you should.
Yeah. So you just stand in whichever direction you want the wind to come from, and you whistle in a particular way, and then inevitably, like, a breeze comes by. And how connected those two things are, I leave to the viewer. But I would do stuff like that. And I was also looking for the very first time into the idea. That's when I learned about hagstones. And so the idea is that there's this stone. It's got a natural hole in it. It can't be drilled. And looking through it, you can actually see into the other world, or see spirits, or see stuff like that. They're also good luck, apparently, to carry around, protection. So one night I was sitting out on the beach, kind of in the water, and I found a hagstone with my toe. I was just like, whoop, whoop, and there was there. And these are not rocky beaches, so it was kind of cool to find. I think this one actually though was coral, because we would find like big chunks of coral sometimes, and it had a. So I looked through the hagstone out off into the distance at the horizon, and this is at night. There's moonlight, but otherwise, it's not a very big town, so it's pretty dark. But I looked through the hagstone, and I saw these shapes. Like I can only describe them as kind of like ghost whales, but there was like kind of a school of them almost. It reminded me, if anybody's seen Pompoko, the Studio Ghibli movie about the little girl who is a fish. There are some like sort of sea spirits in there that this thing looked like. And so I looked through it, and I saw that, and then I looked down, I dropped it and I looked up and they weren't there. And then I did it a few more times and I started seeing all these shapes, these, what looked like entities or something that were just out there. Um, I had some of my other friends try it, and only one of them said like maybe she could see something or not. So I just thought this is really cool. And I don't want to go into like too many specifics here, but during the next couple of days, I established this kind of rapport with whatever these entities were. And we kind of made a deal. And the deal was that if I ever wanted to look through a hagstone, I would be able to see things. In exchange, I can never go under. And what I took that to mean at the time was never go under the water. So I still don't go in natural bodies of water that are deeper than I am high, unless I'm in a boat or something like that, because I don't want to go under. But I also don't want to risk like losing this, I don't know, ability or whatever by going under in any other way. So I don't like to do trances. I don't like, going too far into caves, all of that kind of stuff, because it wasn't specific, like what going under meant.
Yeah,
But
it's like
to
very
this,
like Rumpelstiltskin, like some kind of like there's like
right,
some tricky like interpretation that maybe could be used against you.
exactly, yeah. And so here's the thing, though. So I know there are many, I know probably not a lot of this crowd, but a lot of people would hear this story and think like, well, that's a bunch of hooey. Prove it by like describing something that you can see through here. So the thing is that I can never really see anything specific when I look through them. Like I can tell that there's something there or something moving around or whatever,
Uh-huh.
but I can't tell you what it is. Like I couldn't prove it to you. There's no way for this to happen. But I can see, like it's almost like just sort of a personal, like
Gift or something.
something like that. Yeah, a deal made. And to this day, like I could look, like if I look right now through this, like I can see sort of little wispy things. But there's no way that I could prove that to anybody, and I don't really care. Like I'm not inclined to prove it, and that's another one of the reasons I don't share the story too often, because it's just like, yeah, I can do this weird trick. I can, slice a cucumber. Like it's just to that.
But have you ever
Uh,
tried to like enhance it or like
well,
train on it?
the hagstone binoculars.
Right.
If anybody hasn't
Yeah.
seen, I think I have those right here. Yeah, right here. So here's the hagstone binoculars. There's binoculars with the hagstone taped to them. So I mean, I could draw it, but it would just be like drawing fog. I mean, or just abstract nothingness. Like it's hard to describe, like drawing an energy or something. So I haven't really tried.
We have a comment from on Twitch, so a lot of people may not be seeing this, but sorry, someone was talking about a UFO encounter. I don't know if you want.
Oh yeah. I was
Yeah.
walking in a field around my house a couple years ago, and I saw a sort of aircraft hovering around some deer, and all of a sudden a bright light flashed at me, and that's the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember is waking up on the ground with a big bruise on my neck. Whoa, that's intense.
That's an intense story. Mike, I don't know if you know, if you just happen to have come across us. We have a map where people can share their stories like this. So if you go to liminal.earth, you can submit the story, and you can just indicate like what state or what town if you want, if you feel comfortable sharing that. That's a wild experience. I think it's also interesting that you saw deer too, before
Yeah,
this
yeah,
experience. So I just wanted to make note of this person.
cool.
So thanks for sharing. Yeah, if other people have experiences, please feel free to share that in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do they kind of look like the Mushishi? That's back to the anime series we were talking about with the
Mhm.
the micro. They're not even that definite, like that well defined.
I remember one time you and I were at Starvation Heights, the cemetery, and you were using those Hagstone binoculars, and you saw some kind of white flash or something.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
and
an uncommon thing for you to see when you use them, or is that the first time this ever
oh, yeah,
happened?
that was the cemetery. That's right. Yeah, no, and I saw a white flash, and because you could actually see, it wasn't a white flash. It was more like one area was like lit up when you look through
Oh,
this, and
okay.
when not. That's no, that's less common. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you remember, like when me, you, and Jim Perry went to the fairy village,
Right.
and we
Uh-huh.
were all looking through the binoculars, and it was like
That
in
was a weird, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, it
Sorry.
was like we were inducing pareidolia, however you say it.
You're right.
Um, but we all saw the same thing though. We saw this like stump that when you looked through it with the binoculars looked like some sort of elderly, I don't
Right.
know, like troll looking creature.
But then when you would look at it, you could look at it without them and you would see it and your mind would go, "Oh, stump." But then when you would look it back through that, it
Mhm.
had this other quality to it. It
Yeah.
had I remember feeling like it was that thing where like it's that Carlos Castaneda thing. What's that? Where
Yeah.
like it's like your mind gives it some form. It makes up a story of what it is, and then it kills it almost. It almost like it removes the magic part of it. I don't
Mhm.
know how to phrase it without telling that whole story, but like
Yeah.
it kind of like it was in this kind of in between state, or or like we saw it in its other forms, but then
Mhm.
like once you label it, it kind of like freezes it into that
Yeah.
um
It's kinda
mundane
like,
thing.
they hate the mystical hand wavy quantum physics,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah, like
whatever,
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, yeah.
or the Heisenberg uncertainty principle that like energy is either a particle or a wave until you observe it,
Right.
at which point, until you measure it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what I think of it as, is like, is it a tree stump or is it some sort of forest entity? Like once you have made that conclusion 100% for yourself, that's what it is.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Ha- Have So is your fear then about going under that you'll lose this ability? Is that
Yeah.
that's the kind of what you don't want
I
to
don't want,
happen?
yeah, no, it's not worth it to me. I mean, if it just means
Yeah,
don't go in caves and don't go underwater and don't do the Estes method, then,
right.
you know. But I don't know. I mean, that's my interpretation. I mean, I've been like under anesthesia before.
Right.
Um, I've been under the influence many times.
Yeah. Well, I think it's that maybe that thing of just like you making this kind of pact or promise or something. I
Yeah,
don't know. And like the anesthesia thing is like, you have to do that. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I was young at the time, and probably like if I did the same thing today, I would definitely have done like spelled things out a little more, or tried to find a little more clarity about just what that meant.
You're
But
like have some old binding contract that wasn't
yeah,
updated.
exactly. But I know well enough that like it's not anything that I need to be worried about. It's just a matter of like if you don't follow these terms, you'll lose this ability to see through hagstones, and
Right.
like I enjoy being able to do it. So but I wonder, yeah, I wonder if that's why I'm able to find, because I find them all the time. I mean, all the time being relative. I think I found like 7 or 8, but still.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the whole story.
Did you have any more show and tell before we go?
I mean, I have a bunch of stuff. Should I do that, or do you have anything you wanted to share? I feel like this has been the Jeremy
I
show.
don't really. No, it's great.
Okay,
I
good.
love hearing from Jeremy.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to,
I don't have anything on me right now, really.
I've got stuff.
Like I feel like also my desk here is so full of stuff. Like if I pull something, it's like Jenga. It's gonna fall everywhere.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
But
Well,
I would love to see. Yeah, what do we got?
Big bad boy. The radio.
Man,
$30.
that's
It's
so
an
beautiful.
Old tube radio of some kind. You can see the guts are still in there. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about what this needs, what goes in there. But this is just, it was too cool. And I was using John Tenney's thrifting sigil, which I highly recommend finding it or asking him for it. Because I've had such good results getting that, like every time I find stuff. Yeah.
I found like a restored version of that was worth, it's like $700 or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a 1920s or something.
Yeah, 1925 to 30. I found it at just at a local Goodwill store.
Wow.
It was just back tucked in amongst the electronics. And I looked down and saw, I was like, oh, that's it. So, and it's funny because I have this other thing here from our last liminal thrifting session when me, you, and Bex went.
Oh yeah.
And we still can't figure out what this is. It's got a lockbox. It's a lockbox.
You put a lock on it.
I put a lock on it, yeah. Because why not? And guess what I keep in there? My Japanese ghost detector.
Yeah, talk about, you know what?
Yeah, I can tell you. So this is a little device. It's a Japanese ghost hunting device. I ordered it online, of course. But you press the button, and depending on what color it ends up showing up, if you are in the presence of like something harmless or something good or something negative. Here, I'll give it a try here.
Let's see.
You can hear it. Blue. That means good energy.
Oh, good.
So yeah, all the energy here is good. I know, yeah. Well, the funny thing is that like I don't know anything about the tech that's involved or anything, but sometimes I'll have it out sitting there and it'll just start flashing by itself.
You don't have to push anything; it just will turn on by itself. Or
you can push it, but it's set up so that, and that's a feature. It's not a bug, but it's like it says sometimes it'll just go off by itself, and when it detects something,
That's amazing.
And so I'll be sitting here sometimes and look up and it'll be like, oh, it's green or whatever.
Has it ever just been red? Is red bad?
Yeah, that's the supposedly negative one. So
wow,
but not very often. So anyhow, there's no real good reason for me to keep it in this thing, but so we were out liminal thrifting, and I found this box, and nobody can figure out what it's for because it's got a little groove in it here. So if you close it,
right.
And then it's got a lock on it. Well, somebody was like, "Oh, it's an ashtray," but why would you need to lock up your ashes?
It's so confusing. What was that?
I don't know.
It reminds me of the mice hiding in the fur.
In the Douglas fir.
Yeah, and they have the little tail sticking out.
Juicy.
Remind me again why the mice were hiding. Were they hiding from
a forest fire?
Because that makes me think about the thunder and lightning stuff that's happening.
Yeah. And the forest fires.
Yeah.
I guess Doug firs are very resilient in forest fires because they're so tall, basically.
Yeah.
No idea what that's from. Let's see. Oh, I should show this off.
Oh. This is a really important one.
This is very important when you're out on expeditions, especially when your little ghost light turns red. This is a it's a gun that shoots salt. So you put salt in here, and then you pull this back, and then
this doesn't violate the be nice to entities principle.
Well, I don't think you have to. Yeah, I mean, be nice to entities, but you still should be prepared for stuff, And that is it's actually, it was intended as a device for killing flies. I guess if you're bored and there are a lot of flies around, you can shoot salt at them, and it'll sort of take them out of there. So, but I thought, well, heck, this is something we really need so we have 2 of them. Just in case. We need a third one because we need one for Bex.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find these. The salt gun. So that's a good one. And then I have, this is the Garamycin collection of ancient surgical instruments. So these are scale models of tiny surgical instruments from the ancient world. And Garamycin, I guess, was some kind of pharmaceutical in the 60s. And back then, they would do these, like, people who were selling pharmaceuticals would do these really weird, I guess they were drug reps, but they would do these really weird giveaways. And I guess surgeons use this. And so, why not gift them the Garamycin collection of ancient surgical instruments so you could freak out their patients who are getting a consult. It's funny though. Did you still have those comic books?
Yeah.
Wasn't there one with like a brain or something?
Yeah. Let me see. Grab it.
Cow tools. Yeah. So this is a that reminded me of this because this is a trepanation drill.
Oh yeah.
Trepanation is that practice, far more common in ancient times, of like basically drilling an air hole in your head to let out the pressure or whatever. Yeah.
I heard that like John Lennon was interested in that for a while.
It wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of like a John Lennon, like William Burroughs probably had something to do with it.
And that song, like fixing a hole where the rain comes in or whatever, has to do with some like joke about that. I don't know if that's true. But I think that people were interested in it, like revisiting that idea, and that like it relieves pressure and it like makes blood come there and like it makes you like childlike. It seems wild.
Yeah, no interest there in personally for that.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I seem to remember having read an account from somebody once who did it, and they said they felt like lighter, like everything was airier or something. This is an Incan trepanation device, which seems far less like. Is it possible for one trepanation tool to be more threatening than another trepanation? I don't think so. I'm trying to think if it's anything else I have for show and tell. I use this kangaroo to keep salt from the Dead Sea. Because why not?
I remember when we came to your house and I was like, I just looked over and you have like a collection of flutes.
Yeah.
On the wall.
I just have like a little collection of woodwinds.
You just have like such amazing stuff like everywhere. It's just like weird stuff everywhere. And I was filming that, and then you're like, "Oh, let's not talk about the flutes. Let's talk about that painting on my wall." And that's people have seen. There's this TikTok we made where Jeremy talks about this painting, and it went viral. It's pretty. You've got to go look at our TikTok.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go get the painting because it's pretty big, but check out the TikTok about this painting. It's a boat. You'll see it.
It's pretty amazing.
So I'm trying to reattach.
But you have like a great collection of stuff.
I mean, none of it's like specific. Like I call them liminal objects. Nothing is specifically like haunted or anything. It's just weird and interesting things. like curiosities, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if we should before we go, if we should maybe there's something we could do with dreams tonight.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like some kind of like lead, because that kind of came up earlier with the Blue Lotus, and we should develop that idea some more. But maybe there's just something we can do tonight,
Yeah.
like trying to connect if people are into that idea.
WUFO art night. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Ooh, I love that. I love that if people would make art while we're doing this every week.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Maybe I could pull a card and we could all like use the card as like a gateway or something, or like a thing to think about before we go to bed.
Yeah, let's try it.
Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Let's do it.
I'm gonna pull a card and we'll use that card.
So we're all using your card. We're not.
Yeah, I'll use this
our
card
own
that I
choice.
pull, I guess. Does that sound good? I've just made this up right now.
That's perfect. That's how we roll.
So let's see what we get. You have to forgive my shuffling. Okay. Ace of Wands.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel like this came up in a previous WUFO. And Alex Bumpy drew a picture about this.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is kind of a card that's come up before in WUFO.
Yeah.
But this is an easy image too. So it's the cloud and the wand and the hand holding the wand. So I think that's a pretty easy thing to kind of meditate on before you go to bed, and hopefully we can meet in our dreams. If you have a WUFO inspired dream or dream about anything that we've talked about tonight, or meet any of the other cast of characters that are here, let us know. Tag at WUFO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think some other associations. So fire, that's like the root of fire. So if you dream about fire, that could be.
That's what this is?
Yeah.
So it's related to that. Does it have any other meaning that you can think of?
I mean, it's like intense focused energy, kind of.
That's good. That's a good.
Yeah. Passion, kind of.
Huh. Cool. So get that in your noggin, y'all.
Ace of Wands. Cool.
Okay.
Well, next week, hopefully, we'll have another opportunity to have somebody go under and do the Estes method.
Yeah, I think I'll be in Astoria next week, but
okay. Cool.
But I could do it live from there, maybe. So
yeah. And if anybody wants to come on and give an update, like we'll totally always welcome anybody. Just reach out to us, DM us, or send us an email and say, hey, I'd love to pop in and do some show and tell of your cool things, or tell us a spooky story.
Yeah,
you're invited.
So yeah, I think it's 10 o'clock now. I'm gonna go outside, go do the side quest, look for some UFOs, and hopefully I'll see y'all in the dreams tonight.
Yes.
Ace of Wands. That's what we're doing.
Ace of Wands. Unfortunately, it's cloudy here. We've had those thunderstorms all day.
I know.
So I'm hoping maybe there's a clear pocket. I want to find Ophiuchus.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Good to see everyone. I love being here every week with y'all.
Me too.
Good to see everyone. And
and if anything happens, tag us, #WUFO, @Liminal Earth, Instagram, Twitter. We'll retweet any awesome causes you know of too. If you have any, even if it's like an individual, like if you have a friend who needs help, then like we'll boost it. So send it our way. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get some. No, it's like radical friendship, like spreading the mutual aid.
Radical friendship. I'm into that.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
See you next week.